Welcome to the replay. Hello everybody. Today we have a really fun topic, something I've been thinking a lot about lately, talking to a lot of people about lately. There's that gorgeous bottle of humility oil right there. How many of you guys have humility oil in your home right now? If you have humility oil, please tap on the screen for hearts. And go get that bottle of humility oil because we are going to put some on today. All right. Let me see if I can get this in here. Okay. Hello, hello everybody. Good morning. Oh, this is so crooked. This little tripod is like the tiniest, wimpiest little thing. All right, good morning everybody. Good morning. Who has humility oil in their possession right now? Any of you guys used this oil before? You do. Awesome, Erin. If you do not have this oil, you may want to pop this into your Essential Rewards order for next month. So a couple of you do. Welcome, Persnickety Mom. So glad you can make it on live too. That's awesome. Let me tell you, you're going to tap for it anyway. That's great. Let's all just tap for humility, right? Tap, tap, tap. So let me tell you what the scope is about, because you may have some people you might want to invite on to join us. Okay, so I do not know what is in humility oil. You'd have to use your reference tool and look that up. You can go to the Young Living website. You can look up humility and it'll all be listed right there. I have no idea actually. So this scope is going to be about being a queen bee or a king bee. But we're just going to be using queen bee. Queen bee will be for men, women, everything. Queen bee is somebody who is working very hard at their business and they are doing most of the work. They're having trouble finding other people who want to work alongside them. They are fielding lots of phone calls, lots of requests, doing lots of classes, enrolling lots of people, and chances are they are feeling a little bit or a lot burnt out. Okay? Do you guys resonate with that at all? If you do, tap on the screen for some hearts. If you have people on your team that might fit into queen bee status, you may want to invite them to listen to this scope. You can invite them, you can swipe left to right on an iPhone, you can swipe up on an Android. Now would be a great time to invite them in so they can get in on what I'm going to do with this oil and this topic. And if you shared, please type shared in there so I can thank you. Thank you, Victus. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you so much, guys. This is a really important topic. Thank you, Persnickety Mom. Thank you, Erin. I appreciate that. So I'm seeing a couple more folks jump on here. Thank you, Mandolin. Thank you. If you shared, type share and then type your name so that, you know, some of the handles are a little funky. I'd hate to call you by a random handle. Tanita, thank you so much. Sunshine 46, thank you so much. So my name is Christy Collins. I'm a Young Living Diamond Leader. I am a recovering queen bee. I don't think you ever fully get rid of queen bee status. I think it's something almost like an addiction that you have to constantly monitor and stay on top of. Thank you so much, Mandy, for sharing. Thank you, Jeb. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. This is a really important topic. I'm going to share with you, and it's really just messages that I've received from other people. The first person who talked to me about queen bee status was Vicky Opfer. She is a Royal Crown Diamond with Young Living. She was the second diamond in Young Living's history. I am lucky enough to have her in my upline. And two years ago, when I was stuck at executive, I emailed her and I said, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. No one really on my team wants to build except I have one person who's building and one person who's just getting started and no one else wants to share, and I'm doing an awful lot of work. And God bless Vicky. If you know her, she's such a gentle soul. And she emailed back and she said, well, tell me what you're doing. And so, of course, I was so excited to tell her all the things that I was doing, and I emailed her back with, well, I'm doing this, and I'm doing these classes, and I'm doing this program, and I'm doing and I had this whole long list, and I pressed the send button, and I waited. to see how proud she was going to be of me. And I was just like, oh, she's going to be like, look at all this stuff you're doing, girl. This is so good. Well, the response I got back was, yes, Christy, you are definitely working very hard. And that was it. And so I sat there for a moment and I emailed her back. I said, does that mean I'm working really hard and that's good? Or does that mean I'm working really hard on things that I shouldn't be working hard on? And she responded back and said, well, probably a little bit of both, and we might need to look at that now, don't we? That conversation was the first time that I heard the word queen bee. Now, we are all going to put on humility oil, those of you who have it, okay? I was listening to a talk that Gary did on an old kit called the Seventh Heaven Kit. It's not available anymore, but all the oils from the kit are. Good morning. Has anybody heard of the Seventh Heaven Kit? Was anybody in Young Living when that kit was still around? If you were, please make a comment. I think it was a long time ago. Owlscope, you were. Okay, awesome. Did you get the Seventh Heaven Kit? Owlscope? I have all the oils in it from my Aroma Complete, so I pulled them all out when I listened to this recording, and I'll be sharing some of them with you over the next couple weeks because Gary has this amazing way of teaching about the oils. So humility. Even if you don't have humility, just pretend you're putting on humility, okay? Or if somebody has a reference tool of some sort, or if you can go on the Young Living website for me and look up humility, maybe you can throw out a couple of the oils that are in it. I have the worst oil nose. I can't even tell you one oil that's in here. Somebody else would be able to. Anyway, go get some oil, an oil that represent for you coachability, teachability. Those of you who have humility, you're going to put a drop in your palm, and then you are going to massage your ears with it, okay? Surrender would be a great one. Yeah, surrender would be great. Release would be a great one too. All right. Magnify your purpose, perhaps. Oh, goodness. It doesn't really matter. Any of the oils. Humility was designed to not to be humility in a bottle or, to make you feel like if you put this on, you'll be humble. But Gary said it's designed really to help you awaken would be a good one. Yes. It's designed to help you get into a space where you can be teachable and coachable so that you can really hear what is coming in. Whether that's coming in from God, it's coming in from a business mentor, from your children, from your own inner knowledge or intuition. And so, rubbing it all your ears, Melissa and Rose are two ingredients. Okay, so if you guys have Melissa or Rose, you can use that. Massaging the ears means you're kind of almost taking the oil through the whole body. You're hitting all those emotion points in your whole emotional selves. So sometimes it's easier and less messy than putting it on the soles of your feet, right? We're not going to do feet on this Periscope. We'll just do ears. So the reason I ask you to put humility on is because when Vicky Opfer said to me, you could be a little bit of a queen bee, Christy, I instantly bristled inside a little bit, I will admit, and I wrote back, I said, oh no, I'm not a queen bee. I don't want the spotlight. I don't want to be the queen. I don't like that. I'm an introvert. I don't like attention. And she wrote back and said, that's not what a queen bee is. A queen bee is somebody who does a lot of work, does it in a way that not many other people can duplicate, and therefore not a lot of people duplicate what she's doing, and so therefore she's doing all the work herself. And at some point, that's going to get very tiring, and that queen bee will burn out. Does that resonate with any of you guys? How many of you guys are in that space right now? You have been doing a lot of work, and for whatever reason, unbeknownst to you, no one else is joining you, and so you're starting to get tired, and you're starting to get burnt out, and you're starting to try and figure out, can I keep this up? Is this sustainable? Yes, I'm seeing lots of yeses. Oh my Lord, yes. Yeah, that was the case for me. And often, actually, I've gone back into queen bee mode several times. I think it's a little bit of an addiction. It's hard to monitor sometimes, and so it's good to constantly evaluate. When you start to get tired, I look back and say, okay, am I in queen bee mode? Am I doing things that are not duplicatable? I know the word is really duplicable. I like duplicatable, so I've made up my own word, You don't need to correct me. I know it's not an actual word, but that's the one I use. So let's talk about how would you know if you're a queen bee. I've got my little cheat sheet here. Okay, number one reason you would know that you are a queen bee is if you hear this phrase being said to you on a regular basis. Oh, I would love to do that Young Living stuff, but I can't do what you do. Or it might sound something like, well, I'd love to share the oils, but I just don't know as much as you know. Or gosh, I would love to host a class, but I would love to host a class. Lisa, if you don't think what you're doing is not duplicatable, just hang with me. Hang with me. It might be that it's duplicatable, but again, we always want to be open. We always want to kind of just listen with open ears, clear mind, no judgment at all. You might hear people saying, well, I'd love to host a class, but I can't host the class like you host the class for whatever reason, all right? So Jen, you heard that all the time your first year teaching classes. Okay, so let's look at classes just for fun and see what you might be doing that is not duplicatable. First thing is, do you know all the answers? Right? This is a challenge. So any of you who were in a health practice before, if you were a massage therapist, if you were I was a holistic health coach, if you were certainly like a doctor, an ND, a chiropractor, an energy worker, if you were even a fitness instructor, if you were someone who people looked up to and your entire business was designed around the fact that you were the expert and people came to you for answers, and you needed to have the answers because that's what your business model was built around, it can be very challenging for you to transition into network marketing. Because in network marketing, everything that we do should be designed to have somebody watch us and say, oh, I could do that. Even better is when someone watches you and they say, oh, I could totally do that better than she just did that. The first gathering that I did with one of my top builders, Jamie, she came and she watched the whole thing. And I'll never forget when we finished, she looked at me, she's like, is that all it was? That's so easy. And I thought, yes, I've done my job. That's good. She was like, I could go do that. And she did. I have had other gatherings that I had done earlier than that where I had memorized the script, right? I was sitting there not reading from the script because I didn't need to read from the script because I'm really good at presenting, so I could just do it on the fly. And you know what? Not one person from those first beginning gatherings has ever shared to this day because they came in and their imprint was seeing me winging it. How many people can wing a class? Not many. Actually, a lot of people could, but most people think they can't. And that is the most important thing. Can they think they can do it? So if you are not using a script in your classes, if you are not reading from pieces of paper, if you are not looking down to it every once in a while, referring to it, mentioning that you have a script, that's not duplicatable. You need a script. Okay? So, second thing with a class, let's see what else. Oh, I went to this amazing class once. I had told them, keep the snacks simple. Keep the snacks really simple. Keep the snacks simple. Did I mention keep the snacks simple? I'm like when I host a gathering or a class, hummus with lemon oil in it, baby carrots that I already bought, they're already cut up. I don't cut up my own. I did that before. That's not duplicatable. Salsa with a little bit of lime oil in it, pre-made store-bought salsa in the jar. Hummus is in the tub so people see it's store-bought. And then some chips. That's it. So I told her, hummus, chips, salsa, carrots. That's it. I show up, this lady's entire dining room table is a spread. A spread of food, flowers, like everything. And I said, what, Ellen? I said, hummus, chips, salsa, carrots. She's like, oh, no, my friends know me. I'm like the Martha Stewart. Everybody expects this. And I said, oh, well, nobody's going to duplicate this. Sure enough, not one person from that event has ever shared. Because they're like me. I am the antithesis of Martha Stewart. If I walked in the door and I see that spread, I'm like, well, I'm never going to host a class. That's what I have to do. You got to keep it simple. Queen bees keep things complicated. Because they want people, they just, for whatever reason, they want to be better. They want to stand out. And so if you don't want to see duplication happening and you want to burn out, go ahead, have a huge snack spread, have all that stuff. okay? But if you want to be duplicatable, you want to do something that every single person could do. Buying a tub of hummus, buying a tub of salsa, some carrots. Simple, okay? Let's see, what else? If you know all the answers. So it's actually it's so natural to me I don't even think about it anymore. You guys asked me at the beginning of this scope, what's in humility? Now, I have no idea. And I'm perfectly comfortable telling you, I have no idea. Even if I knew what was in humility, I would probably tell you, I have no idea. And what did I then do? I directed you to the tools. I said, go look it up on the Young Living website. Go look in your reference tools, right? Because here's why. If I know all the answers, that is not duplicatable. If you watch a scope and think, oh shoot, if I'm going to do a scope about oils, I'm going to need to know every oil in every bottle that I share. You are not going to do a periscope because you're going to be like, darn it, I don't have time to memorize the oils. Or you're going to think you want to do a scope and you're going to say, I'll go memorize the oils, and then you don't, and so then you don't periscope. Same thing with gatherings. If you are in a gathering and someone asks you a question and you know the answer to every question that people ask you, and you tell them the answer, all those people sitting in that circle there are going to think that they need to have the answer to every question that is posed. And in their little minds, it starts spinning all the possible questions someone might ask them at a gathering, all the possible things someone might ask them if they wanted to build a business, all of that. And they're not going to share because there's no way for them to know all the answers. Just like none of us know all the answers. Gary Young, maybe, he knows his oils, but the rest of us, we don't know. We shouldn't be required to know. We're just learning, we're using them, we're sharing our own compliant stories. So, in a class, even if someone asks me a question that I know the answer to, I will, a lot of the time, I will tell them, you know what, that's a great question. And I will turn to maybe one of the team members who are there and I'll say, do you know the answer to that? Or what are you doing with that oil? I want them to answer. I want the people sitting there as guests to see that, oh, there are other team members here. So if Christy doesn't know, she can ask one of them. Or I might say, you know what, that's a great question. I have no idea, but you know what? That's the kind of thing that you would post to our team Facebook page and ask them. Because there's like 6,000, 7,000 people on that page. And if I don't know the answer, there's guaranteed there's somebody who might, or somebody who could look it up. And when you join, you're going to get your own, you're going to buy your own reference tool too, so that you can look up your own answers. That is duplicatable. A queen bee has to, for ego purposes, the queen bees for ego purposes have to show they know everything. And again, that's great in any other business model, but not in network marketing. Let's see, Jen saying, I don't know, let me get back to you is a great reason to follow up. It is a great reason to follow up with someone. But what I like to do, I take it a little bit a different approach. I don't want to actually find out the answer to the question. And here's another, it's perfect. That's queen bee symptom number 2. So the first sign that you're a queen bee is people will say, I can't do what you do. Or I don't want to do what you do. Or I, would love to do what you do, but I can't, right? The second sign that you are a queen bee is that you are on call as everyone's personal Google. I heard somebody on the Diamond chat page say that. I am not Google, and I love that. I forget who it was. I loved it though. If you are the one who's always finding the answer for someone, then you are going to be the one that they come to. So even if it's a cold market person, Jen, I am not going to give them the answer. I will get on the phone and say, you know what, that was a great question. Let's find that answer together. I'm going to have them go, even if we're on the phone, to wherever it is that I would go. If I'm going to youngliving.com, I'm going to have them go there too. So now they know how to find their own answers. Again, it's removing my status as queen bee. So even if they're not even on my team yet, I'm trying to teach them how to fish. Okay, so if you are getting lots of people that are coming to you with questions, now this could be, what do I do for X? How do I use this oil? How do I order again? How do I do this? When is this coming back in stock? Like all those questions, if you're getting lots of those questions, chances are you're a queen bee. I hate to say it. And even if you are brand new, how many of you on the scope are brand new to Young Living or network marketing? You're just starting out. You're in like your first 6 months of building. Tap on the screen. Show me some hearts if you are new to building. We got a few. Okay. Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome. So you guys, hey Victoria, you guys want to be really conscious of queen bee stuff from the beginning because it is so much easier. It's so much easier to just not become a queen bee than it is to be a queen bee and try to take your throne off. And like, it's hard to take the throne off. So just don't put it on from the beginning. So if you have just started, how many of you, those of you who've just started, how many people are on your team right now? Type in, actually anybody, even if you've been building for a long time, I want everyone to type in the number of people on their team. Well, I put my hair back because I'm distracting myself with my hair. How many people do you have on your team? We have 11, 4, 98, 39, 54, 500 plus, 20, 10, 86, 10, 40, 120, 61, 35, 30, 65. First of all, I love that you guys all know to a person how many are on your team. That is awesome. That shows you are monitoring, you're paying attention. 13, congratulations on number 13. Kate, that's awesome. 112, 1,000. Okay, so those of you who have less than 25 people on your team, you might say, what's the big deal, Christy? Somebody contacts me to find out how they can order something, or somebody contacts me about when will this be back in stock, or they're asking me about how to support their child's skin. You know, what's the big deal? Isn't it customer service? Aren't I supposed to respond to them? Yes. This is a personal relationship business. However, I remember that when I had small numbers of people on my team, it was very easy to answer, say a text here, phone call there, email there, easy. And then those of you who have numbers that are 100, 500, 1,000 plus, you will be able to say, it is not so easy to keep up with all of that when you start having more people. If you are a queen bee and you are so in charge of everything, and you are the person that everyone comes to, you are going to burn out. You are going to hit a point where you're going to take your cell phone, you're going to want to throw it against a wall, because if you get one more text or one more voicemail, you're literally going to scream. And that is not a good emotional state that we want to be in when we're building our businesses. So everyone, take a little sniff again of your humility oil. Okay, so if you are a queen bee who's getting lots of people that think that you need to give them the answers, you need to start teaching people how to fish. Okay, I'm a parent. I've got 2 little boys, so I know that yes, it would be easier for me to do things for them sometimes. It would be much easier for me just to go in and make their darn beds than to help them through the process. But if I make their bed every day, they're going to be like 18 and I will still be making their beds. So I need to now go through the somewhat painful process and patience testing process of teaching them to make their bed. Same thing with your team members. And the next time someone asks you a question, I want you to point them to a tool. They'll get used to your answers and then send their people. Yes, that's even worse, right? You're so good at answering questions, you're such a good queen bee, that they start sending their people to you. Right? Because why would they be a queen bee? They're going to let you do all the work. Isn't that fabulous for them? Now they can sit back, they send all their people to you, their phone doesn't ring, they can hang out and have a relaxing day, and you have now double, triple, quadruple the phone calls. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up. You need to model this. If you're a yellow color personality and you prefer to do things for other people, if for no other reason, take off your queen bee crown for other people. Because you are modeling, everything you do models for your builders. If you are a queen bee, they are either 1, going to send all their people to you, or 2, they are going to think they have to become a queen bee too. And that causes problems. There's can be 1 queen bee in the hive, right? It's just, lots of queen bees means lots of drama. So you need to model for your team and for your team members what it means to not be a queen bee. So the next time you get a request, I will say things like, someone posts me a question, I will say, that's a great question for the Facebook page. Send. Or, that's a great question to ask on the Business Builder page. I bet a lot of other people have that question. Send. Or, have you looked at your reference tools yet? Send. Great question for customer service. Sometimes it's a customer service question. I will send them there first. And I will tell you that though I have lots of people on my team, I do not get very many requests like that. Very, very, very few. They're usually from newer team members that haven't figured out my tool directing process yet. It takes people maybe a month or so, and then they just, and then they'll say, Christy, I looked at my tools, I went to the Facebook page, I looked at the Young Living website, I looked through our files in the Facebook pages, and I didn't find it yet, so I'm coming to you with it. Now, of course I'm going to help them then, if they haven't found it, but I want them to do their work first. Okay? I do not need the ego support of being able to help everybody. That's not my goal. It's not my goal. And I don't need to do that. Why is it so important? Because again, if your ultimate goal with network marketing is duplication. You want other people to do what you have done without you having to be there helping them do it. And the only way to do that is to give people tools, right? You need to give people tools because they can share tools really easily. You can hand a book to someone, you can send it to a Facebook page. You're having trouble. Can you post that again about the Google? Post again about the Google question. And then we got one more Queen Bee symptom, and then I can see my boys are here. It's time for us to start homeschooling.
No, it's not. You can keep going.
Yeah, they're having a Nerf gun lightsaber battle outside. So they're like, no homeschooling today, right?
No.
Okay, you want to say a quick hi?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, it's Friday. We had to paint a fence, so I don't know. We may do a very limited homeschool today. What do you think? Spelling testing call it a day.
I'm gonna make cookies.
I gotta stick with these peeps here, okay? So finish your lightsaber duel. 5 more minutes. You're having trouble finding leaders, but you don't struggle with people thinking you're Google. Okay, so how adorable. He is very adorable. He is very adorable. Let me go through this last point, and then maybe this will provide some inspiration to you about the leaders piece. Okay, so the last piece is you may be a PE, exactly. Painting is PE. We're going to fit all sorts of stuff. We talk math while we do it because they get paid a certain amount for helping with big projects like that, so it's all part of homeschooling. You know you're a queen bee, this is the last one, if you look at all the enrollments that have come through for the last month, and a majority of them are yours. The majority of them are yours, right? So we have this great program called YL Family that Vicki Opfer created. It allows me to really look at each of my leaders and look at their enrollment reports and see out of their enrollments, how many did they enroll versus other people on their team. And often when people are not, when they're stagnating and they're not growing, they're not duplicating, they're not increasing in rank, it's often because the enrollments are coming mostly from them. 30 to 100% of the enrollments are their own personal enrollments. And so we'll see this a lot, you know, with people who haven't found their builders yet. They haven't found their leaders yet. And sometimes that's just a numbers game. I had lots of people on my team before I found my first builder, a lot. So if you've got 5, 10 people and you're like, where are my builders? You just need more people. You do need, when you're at the beginning, to go out and enroll a lot of people. But you need to make sure that when you're enrolling them and you're sharing with them and you're welcoming them into the team, it's not with a queen bee hat on, because if you have a queen bee hat on, again, they're not going to start duplicating you. So even though you do need to always be enrolling and always be sharing, you have to be doing it from a duplicatable standpoint. You have to be inviting people to come back to your classes with guests so that, again, if they're not able to host their own gathering yet or don't feel ready, they know they can comfortably come back and bring the guests to your gathering. They might have to do that many times before they are ready to kind of branch out on their own. So you got to give them that space. And what you can do is when they come back, you can give them parts of the script to do. And pretty soon after their second or third time, you give them the whole script to do and say, the class is yours. I'm just here with my guest here with you. Okay? That's how you teach someone to almost fall into building a leadership role. You feel like you're starting to get up and coming leaders, but you have been a queen bee and you knew it. Yeah, it's like that moment of, oh shoot. I had that moment. I've had that moment several times in my Young Living career. And here's the reason why you don't want to be a queen bee. Here's why you want to really evaluate what you're doing. Look at everything you're doing and just ask the question, could every single person do this? Could anyone do this, right? Could anyone do this? That's why I don't have a personal website. I had a business Facebook page where I talked all about oils, and I talked all about these, I shared all these graphics I made. I'm not a graphic designer, but I spent way more time than I should have making these awful graphics to share. I looked at that and I said, that's not duplicatable. Not at all. So you'll notice now I have a personal Facebook page. One, that's it. Personal Facebook page. I didn't make a Young Living website or a Christy Collins shares Young Living Oils website, because a website is a lot of work. I have leaders on my team who've done it, and I look at it and I'm like, gosh, that's just like, it's intimidating to me, and I'm a diamond. Like, imagine some brand new person coming in and looking at you and saying, oh, I need my own website to do this. It's a challenge for people. So I have Marketing Sense. It's available to everyone. You can get it in like 2 seconds. Is it the best, most beautiful, wonderful site? No. But to me, a website is not, it doesn't take the place of the relationship and the connecting and all the work you need to do. You can't just send people to a website. Anyway, I'm going to get off that soapbox. So why don't you want to be a queen bee? Hey guys, take it outside. Take the war outside. My main concern for all of you is that you're going to burn out. Queen bees burn out. And also, they don't get duplication happening. And if your goal is to be in this business and make an income so that you can do all the things you want to do, you need duplication to do that. Because if you burn out, you're going to have to stop. And when you stop, it will stall. So you really want to be modeling non-queen bee activity for yourself and for everyone who comes after you guys, okay? Does anybody have any questions about this? Or is there anything you're doing that you're trying to like run it through the queen bee filter, see if it is queen bee or if it's not? If so, let me know. I think my troops are getting restless out there, but what is it? Because I know for me, I thought a lot of stuff I was doing was not queen bee, and Vicky sure set me straight. She sure set me straight in such a gentle way, but I needed to hear it from her. A lot of the, I canceled a lot of the classes I was doing because it was queen bee. Should you pay a designer? Is that something everyone can do? No, so that is queen bee. Don't do a website. Get one of the replicatable, duplicatable websites. Don't waste time creating your own site, okay? It's just not, you don't need it. You're a blogger, so when doing local classes, should I not talk about the blog? See, I wouldn't when you're doing your introductory. No, I wouldn't. When I do my introductory, I literally say, hello, thank you for coming. My name is Christy Collins. I've been using Young Living for a while now, and I love to share with people because they make me feel so empowered. And that's all I say. They do not know that I used to be a holistic health coach. They do not know I'm a Young Living diamond. They do not know any of that stuff at all. It's the same reason why I don't use PowerPoint. I use a paper script. Even when I do a big presentation to lots of people, I do not use... I need chocolate. Yes, thank you. I don't do big presentations anymore because big presentations are not duplicatable. I don't do introductory big presentations. Introductory, where people are coming and first learning about Young Living, is always the same. Oh! Henry just kicked the table over. Henry! All of my introductory gatherings are the same. They're the same script, they're the same order, they're the same darn snacks every single time, and that's it. Because I want people who are first introduced to Young Living to imprint in that, oh, this is a very easy thing that I can do. Once they're on the team, then yes, we can do bigger events. Then we can have them. Then we can explore all the different uses for all the different products and all of that. But I still don't use PowerPoint. Why? Because I want my team leaders to feel like they can go out and do 201 trainings with their team. And if I have a PowerPoint, then they're going to need a PowerPoint. And then what else? Then they need a slide projector, right? You can only see half my face. Well, I can see my whole face. Well, I hope it's the good half that you can see. Anyway, everything I do, I run it past the filter. Could anyone do this? If they can't do it, then I try not to do it. because again, I want to be able to eventually step away from the business. I want to be able to go on vacation for a long time with my family. I would love to take, just some time for quiet. And if I am a queen bee, I can never step away because the business will halt. The business will pause until I get back. And I already did that business when I was a health coach. I already did that business in the corporate world. I want a business that will continue to grow without me around someday. And that is what I'm building towards. And that's what I hope all of you are building towards as well. So if this was helpful for you, please share. You can swipe left to right on an iPhone. You can swipe up on an Android. You can share on Facebook. You can share on Twitter. You can, if you're new to my scopes and you just joined in, you can follow me by clicking on the little person icon if you swipe one of the ways. I forget which way. In the corporate world, I used to be an SAP coder for Accenture, which used to be Anderson Consulting. Talk about a lifeless job that did not work for me at all. So lots of queen bees on your team, up and down. Yep, so you might want to invite them to listen to this, and you guys could do a great training meeting together. One of the things that you can do that's really helpful with your team, we just did this with our executives, is to have people keep a journal of everything that they do in their business for at least 2 weeks, but ideally a month. And then you sit down and you go through it and you look at what is a duplicatable activity and what is not. Chances are your team members are spending more than 50% on things that are not duplicatable. So you can look at them with a neutral eye and have them look at yours with a neutral eye, because it's much easier for you to see someone else's queen bee activity than it is for you to see your own. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope that this has been fun.
Bye.
The boys say bye. Oh, Henry's hiding. We are going to, replay info. Yes. Well, try to get on live if you don't mind, because it is nice to see the comments. And it is lovely to see hearts and see that these are actually making a difference. No, I don't have a degree in computer science. Not at all. I was an honors and communication major. I had French and sociology minors. How I ended up SAP coding is beyond me. So the replays are all on catch.me, catch with a K, and if you go to catch.me// Call 23, you can find the recordings. And here's a question for you guys. What topics, give me one topic you'd love to see a scope on. Give me one topic that you'd like to see a scope on before we close for today. Anybody have a Periscope topic that they'd like to see? Or you guys just like to let me do my own thing? Leapfrog. I don't know what leapfrog means. How to follow up. How to motivate builders to grow and work harder. That's easy. You got to find their why. You got to find their why. Otherwise, you can't do anything with that. Follow up and closing sign up. Closing. Love to learn about systems. An intro class. What do you want to know about the intro class? The systems. I love talking systems too. Teaching classes on Periscope. I've not done that yet, so maybe you could teach me that. Going from exec to silver, cold calling, finding builders without being pushy. You've never done a Periscope. Or you've never done an intro class. Okay. Awesome. Catch.me/Christy Call 23. It's the same as my Periscope handle, just after the catch.me. All right, guys, those are some great ideas. We can definitely, people sending you to do the work and expecting you to be the enroller. That means you're a queen bee, so you got to look at that. Keeping builders in action, getting others out of their houses to meetings. That's a good one. You may want to go back and listen to my scope series on inviting. That might help. How, as an introvert, you invite and talk to people. Okay. Well, it's kind of just like this. No, that's a good question. I might have to think about that one. The talking. All right, we're going to go do a spelling test here.
Oh, no.
You all have a great day and have an awesome weekend if I don't talk to you. And keep those queen bee thrones and crowns and all of that out of the picture, okay?